taking shit from his boss, but he thinks he's doing just fine. Don't you think your life is more than just some dollars and fries? Every single person I know could be so much more than a check, so much more than a grade, so much more than a test. I stress, been trying to run with the best. I feel the weight on my chest, school got me going in debt. Don't wanna live to exist.
This would be what if Naruto was a Senju, and let's get into it. And so Minato will be drunk one day with Tsunade after celebrating being Hokage, and sad that his mother and father both died. And he is like, so the Namikaze, no, the Uzumaki family is a rich business known throughout the world, and it's 75% of the businesses in Konoha. And so he said that his parents died, and Kushina then broke up with him for him being Hokage because she wanted to become Hokage, and he asked to make a family and she declined. And so he hooked up with Tsunade, and this Tsunade is a 35-year-old Tsunade. And so now they hooked up, and so now, sorry about that. And so now the baby gets born 9 months later after she yells at Minato for getting her pregnant, and they figure something out, and he got born in Konoha. But Minato has half the Naitos and Kushina has the other half, and there's this tradition, you could say. Two Uzumaki, it's called Project Fox. They split the Naitos in half and put in two full-blooded Uzumaki, and then they teach them the art of the Bakugo seal, and so it's putting chakra in their forehead. And so when they do that, if they get their tail beast stripped out of them, they will survive. And so that's what happens. And so when Naruto's getting bored, Kushina gets the Naitos ripped out of her on a mission near the land of waves, sort of, like, you know. And so it's like 100 miles away. And so the fox, being controlled by Obito, heads over there. And so Minato, knowing, sets up everything and says, I have to go, Tsunade. And she nods, knowing. And so he heads out. And so now Minato is getting ready. And so he sets up everything, sets up all his seals. And so he did a 4-prism seal. And if you even touch it, you'll catch on fire. Then there'll be a wind gust that pushes you away. And so it's around the village. And so Minato says, all people, Anbu and above, go with me. And so he does, but it's not the kind of Anbu you think. It's not Kakashi or anybody. It's some foundation and stuff. And Danzo is locked away. Danzo found out about it and tried to take Tsunade's baby and tried to kill the consul, but they fought Danzo because this was a private information and it was illegal. Nobody knew it was illegal, but it was illegal, kind of. He put the rule in the thing, and so when he showed Danzo's like, the council doesn't know about this. You never told us this. And Lord Third says, you just know, Danzo, not to do something. And so Danzo dies, and the foundation is in Kakashi's and Yamato's hands. And so now they fight the Nine Tails. He seals when Kushina gets back. She has the Bakugo seal around her, and so she has like an amp, and so she uses her chakra chains, and Minato does in conjunction, and so then Minato decides to seal the Nine Tails within Naruto, and within Kushina, and says bye Kushina, and she nods, knowing that Minato's gonna die. And so he seals Naruto within the baby, and Lord Third tells Kushina about this is a S+++ class secret, and that Tsunade will be training him for 12 years. And so she nods and heads off and leaves. And so Tsunade leaves the next day. And so all of the bets from her and stuff is paid off. And so Naruto is trained at age 3 when he could crawl. It's first just chakra training, and he has amazing chakra control even with the Nine Tails. It's remarkable because his Senju DNA just overrides it. And 2 to 3 years after he got born, the fox marks disappeared because of his Senju skin. And so she starts training him with the art of chakra, and so he is very good at it. And so she starts teaching him basic medical ninjutsu and basic medical ninjutsu knowledge. And so he learns at the age of 5 every single organ in the human body. That's not saying much for people like Tsunade who knows everywhere around the body, but that's still impressive as a kid, knowing every organ. Not even I know that. And so now Naruto learns the Mystic Palm, and when Jiraiya comes to visit Naruto, he starts teaching him for a year basic ninjutsu, all the basic ninjutsu that Chunin know, because he heard that the Akatsuki is looking for the Nine Tails Jinchuriki quick because they don't know who it is. And because Minato took out Obito original really quick, and so Obito just did that dip no jutsu, and Minato almost killed Obito. So my bad, Obito had to heal up, my guy, and so he didn't come back to watch or anything, and so he doesn't know. He knows that about the Uzumaki, the Leaf, Project Fox, and other villages know about this, and that's why no villages really want to mess with the Leaf. If they have 2 Jinchuriki, and said that even half could defeat people, half, whew, boy. And so now, Naruto learns everything after a year or 2. So now he's age 8. And so Kushina starts his training on her superhuman strength. But one day, it's her birthday. Tsunade's sad. And Shizune tells Naruto that's her birthday, and Naruto buys some seeds for Tsunade's favorite flower. And so when he does, he starts planting it, and so then he puts his hand over it using the Mystic Palm, trying to make it grow or something. But then something happens. Roots start growing. And so then it grows into a whole rose. I'm gonna say she likes roses. I don't know if she likes roses or not, but I'm gonna just say that. And so, once that happens, he gives her it, and she says, Naruto, how long have you known about my birthday? And he said, oh, I just learned yesterday, and I grew this flower for you. And she's like, how? And he said, I just put my hands over it and used, it's like the mystic palm, but then it grew. And she says, try that again, Naruto. And he took out some of her seeds, put it in the ground, and did it. And she thinks, that's remarkable. And then Jiraiya goes to send Lord Third a letter. And so then Lord Third, so he has the famous Mokuton of the first Hokage. And so then he sends over Yamato. It says, Yamato, I'm gonna give you 2 to 3 years, because you can't stay long, to teach young Naruto a lot. Because I heard that the shinobi villages are wanting to get to Konoha and try to take us over. And soon, at least teach him the basic stuff. And so Yamato proceeds to do that. He is teaching Naruto everything quickly, knowing his orders. And so Naruto develops a technique called wood style octopus arms of the sea, or demon king of the sea. Octopus, demon king of the sea. So it makes wooden octopus arms just run at the opponent, and it's like a tracking system. And even once one of them goes to them, it drains their chakra. It's not that good if the person's fast, but it's a start. And so Naruto is also getting smarter and smarter by the day from learning from Shizune and them. And so then Yamato has to leave after 2 years. He has to do a lot of missions to leave now, since he was an Anbu captain. Well, he wasn't an Anbu captain, but he was under Kushina Uzumaki, that has mastered the Nine Tails. In the affair with the Hyuga, they, in the death of the Hyuga clan, they forced Kushina to go to Turtle Island and learned how to master the Nine Tails. And they were obligated to do so because they had Suna at that time as allies. And they had they didn't have anybody else, but they had more military power than the Cloud Village. And so they say that we kind of have to. And so Kushina masters with the yin and has KCM. And so Kushina is taking this very seriously. She really wants to become Hokage. And so, because she feels bad what happened with Minato and stuff. She said if I didn't break up with Minato, none of this would happen. But she is also glad that she would at least maybe get to able to train Naruto. And so now, Naruto is training. He is also mastering Tsunade's strength. Not as powerful as Tsunade, but he's getting, also, he's making his own fighting style with it. It could be like a guy's and least strong fist, but it's highly powered chakra into fist, and it doesn't show that powerful punches, but when it connects with something, it's gonna shatter. And so the punches, you feel the wind pressure, but you don't think it's much because he hides the power of it, but then releases it all when it touches an object. It's like on impact, you could say. And so he cocks it back like Tsunade does too. And so now Yamato leaves and says, Naruto, maybe when you come to the leaf, we can learn more. And so Naruto watches Yamato leave. And so then he goes out in the forest to train more. And so then he gets approached by 4 shinobi who saw him train. But they didn't see his Mokuton, but they saw his strength. And B asked to train him and asked, are you from a shinobi village? And he said no. He said, my mom's training me. And so B thought, who is his mom? And so he just regarded that. And so then he's, since that Naruto is the Naito Jinchuriki, but faint because of his Senju DNA. And so, only like the 7 toes and up would be able to sense that because it's very faint because of his Senju DNA. He mainly senses like Hashirama Senju. But since he does have the 9 toes and it's the yang half, it's dark, and so people could kind of sense it. And so now Naruto is training with B, and B gives him the one of his swords that's built from the 8 toes chakra. And Yujito Samui the Yamoy guy with the candy in his mouth says, are you serious, B? And then B says, yes. You fool. Something like that. It's like a rap. And so he teaches Naruto Kenjutsu for a month and says, bye, Naruto. We finished our training and we have to head back to our village. Naruto says bye. And so they both leave. And so Naruto, for 2 more years, learns a lot with Jiraiya. On his last birthday, before he has to go to the village. Well, no, not the village, but, his last birthday, 12, before his next birthday, he would have to leave to the village. He gets the Toden Katsuyu summoning and gets it. And so once he gets it, he says thank you. And Naruto has exceptional jutsu. He has and he also figured out at age 11 of his 4 chakra natures, which is wind, lightning, earth, and water. And so he finishes what he has, and his new taijutsu is really good. And so Tsunade says, Naruto, I'll be coming with you. Because Tsunade over the years is not playing. She will stick with Naruto through thick and skin. And so they head back. And so once they get there, Lord Third greets them and says, welcome. And time skip 2 hours before this. Lord Third calls council meeting. And he has his Hokage advisors in the council. And so he says, Naruto Uzumaki, Naruto Senju will be coming to leave. And they ask, Naruto Senju, who's that? and he said, "Oh, Tsunade had a child." And so they're like, "What? Tsunade had a child? With who?" And the Hokage says, "The civilian council can't know of it, but I will tell the ninja council after this one." And they all sigh, but they're happy that Tsunade has a council member. And so now that's what happened. And so Naruto gets on the leaf, and it's the final day of the academy for the test. And Naruto says bye, Mom. And she says bye, kissing Naruto on the cheek and hugging him tightly. And so Naruto uses his same strength to hug her back, or he will be dead right now from a cracked, broken ribs and stuff. And so then she gives Naruto a kiss on her cheek and says, "Good luck, son." And so then he leaves. And she looks at Naruto and says, thinks he's just like Minato and me. He looks like Minato, but he has my hair and my eyes and my personality. And Naruto does have her personality. So he is very short-tempered. He's not that really fond of Jiraiya like his mom, of his acts. And when a person messes with him or tries a joke or something with him, they get sent through a mountain. All comedy. He can't punch a person through a mountain. He's not a Biju. Like, he's actually no Biju Damas. But anyways, Naruto heads to the academy. And so when he arrives, he is wearing black Ambu pants. He also has an Senju jacket, similar to Minato's jacket, but it has a Senju clan symbol on the back. And Jiraiya and Tsunade has placed tons of seals on him. Naruto also has about 10 to 15 gravity seals for his training, and it helps hold back his true strength because they don't want Naruto beating anybody up in the academy during sparring on their last days. And so he has wrist weights, and also he has a glove that has weights on it, but he can release all these weights and still wear the gloves. It's like what Sakura wears, but more like manly. And so he has gloves, and he also has a katana on his back. And he doesn't have no skirt on the bottom. It's on black combi pants and regular attire, basically. And he can, yeah. And so when he arrives, Naruto says, "Hi." And so then people look at Naruto interested. And people were already trying the Clan Restoration Act, but Hashirama did a thing. If the clan head disagrees with the Clan Restoration Act, it is no longer valid. You can't do it. And in any affairs of other villages trying to have a breed of a Senju in another village, there's a rule that is not legal. There'll be no people having their clan. This is to make sure that nobody tries to marry his have a clan or have the village try to have a Senju in there, and if one of his predecessors have Mokutan, they do not want just other villages having Mokutan because that would be bad. And so Tobirama also made this even more because Tobirama, bro. Tobirama ain't having it, Chief, bro. Tobirama also made a thing. Senjus can't marry Uchihas. That's just for fun. And so, Naruto is getting ready to fight. It gets there, and then Kiba says he doesn't look all that strong. And so then he walks up to Naruto, putting his hand on his back. And Naruto gives him a little Tsunade smile and says, could you gladly replace your hand off my back? And Kiba says, what if I don't? And then Naruto flared his chakra, saying, if you don't, you will go right to the Hokage monument on top of the Yodame, which is the fourth Hokage. And he says, please and thank you. And so then he puts his hand off of Naruto, thinking he's crazy. And so Iruka and Mizuki says the fan club already started with Naruto. Just half of the members from the Uchiha Sasuke clubs left to make the Senju Naruto club. And so Sasuke says, Senju, he can test my power. And the third Hokage already made a rule that Yamato and Kushina will be training Naruto. Since Jiraiya told the third Hokage about Naruto's skill with Genjutsu, and that Kushina can help him with Uzumaki seal, since he is still half Uzumaki and Senju and stuff. And so Tsunade is there, and when the council tries to say get any arranged marriages, Tsunade goes berserk and says, you will not have my son being a baby breeder. And then she says, as clan head as my clan, Naruto shall not be any clan restoration affairs. And then they get mad at Tsunade, saying, that's dumb, man. If it wasn't for Tsunade, this all would be easier. And then they lost all hope. And then they thought, wait, do we actually think we could beat Tsunade? And then they just sighed, saying, if we can get Naruto to marry our daughters when he becomes a ninja, she won't have a say in this if he likes them. My bad about that. And so, back to the academy, the spars. Naruto versus Kiba and Izuka. Kiba smiles and he says, go away, Akamaru, I got this. And so Kiba runs at Naruto saying, you will pay, Senju. And he says, what's so good about the Senju clan anyways? And so then Naruto appears before Kiba, landing a blow to the stomach. And Kiba coughs up blood. Blech! And then Naruto says, that's why the Senju clan's so great. And so then he, playing around, and then he just kicks Kiba away and says, well, have a nice fall, you could say. And so then Kiba just flies into the thing. And so then Iruka says, Naruto Uzumaki wins, and all his newfound fangirls cheer, and Naruto says, "Oh no." Then Naruto does anime tears. And so, now they said, well, go out for lunch and come back. And so, sorry about that. So Naruto will, Naruto and his mom just dip, and girl's like, wait, Naruto, do you want to have lunch with me? And Tsunade's mom glares at them and says, Naruto would not be hanging out with you guys. And then hugs Naruto. Says, stay away from those mean girls. And so Naruto's smiling at his mom. And she says, you will stay away. And so Naruto says, okay, Mom. And putting his hands up saying he didn't do anything. And she says, oh, I know, Naruto-kun. Or Naru-kun. And so Tsunade then takes Naruto out to get some ramen. And so Naruto says, thank you, Mom, and then goes back. And she says, you better pass the exam, putting out her fist, because she says, because if you lose, I'll give you 2 weeks of harsh training. And Naruto gulps, saying, I'll pass, Mom. And so now, it's the substitution, not the body, the substitution and the clone jutsu, and yeah, and so Naruto both does it effectively and gets his headband, and chooses a green one that matches with his attire of his green flak jacket. And so since Naruto's the hair, Naruto gets a present from Tsunade when he passes and says, good job, Naru-kun. So the council and Hokage suggested this, and every hair to the Senju clan wears this, and it's cool, you could say. And so she gives it to Naruto, and Naruto says, does it look good on me, Ma? And she says, yes, it does, Naruto. And so then they head off, and she says, well, you'll be getting harsh training anyways. And so Naruto shows anime tears, saying, no. And so then she's training Naruto hard on his taijutsu. And she finds Naruto new taijutsu very interesting. And so the whole world is slowly finding out that Tsunade has a child. And so when that happens, Tsunade decides to Tsunade decides that she will train Naruto even harder. And so she's training him more medical ninjutsu. And Naruto knows how to heal himself very effectively. And he knows how to do a lot of Tsunade's abilities of using medical ninjutsu and fighting. And he is especially well in Chakra Scalpel. And so she said, Naruto, you're going to be a better medical doctor than me. And better ninjutsu than Jiraiya. And you might even be better than Minato and Fuinjutsu. And Naruto smiles at his mom. And so she says, well, see you tomorrow, Naruto-kun. And so he leaves. And Shizune and Tantan the next day says, good luck, Naruto, after Tsunade made him breakfast. And it was a lot. And she says, eat up, Naruto. You'll have a long day. And so when the teams are, Kiba's glaring at Naruto the entire time. And the kiss happened with Kiba and Sasuke. And so Naruto ain't gay because he's a descendant of Hashirama, my guy. And so Naruto is the last to get picked and says Naruto will be a special. he will be getting training from two Anbu captains, and they both walk in and says, "Come on, Naruto." And Naruto jumps up and screams, "Yamato!" And so then he sees Kushina and smiles. And so she kind of blushes, not in that weird way, but he reminds her of Minato, but nothing like that. And so she shrugs it off, saying he just looks like Minato. That's it. And she knows the secret, but she just shrugs it off. And Yamato also does know too. And so Yamato and Kushina both introduce themselves. And Naruto will be going to a hidden Uzumaki training field in the village. This training field was for Hashirama and other descendants to train, and so no spies are in the village or anything. There'll be a huge seal that is like dark and nobody can see in it. Can't see anything. And so they go, but like they can see outside, of course. And so they just start training, and every day. And after 2 weeks, 2 weeks, Naruto does joint missions. So he does missions with other teams. And Ino started liking Naruto. And so she left the Sasuke fan group and goes up to Sakura and saying, Sakura Haruno, I shall resign from the Sasuke fan club. And Sakura's like, what? You know the banishment that you'll get for that? And she says, oh, I know, but I'm joining the Naruto fan group. And she's like, Naruto, you? And so Ino says yes. And so Ino leaves and joins Naruto's. And nobody dares to try to follow Naruto because he's always by his mother, who looks at the fangirls and says, instead of fangirling about my son, how about you train? And so Ino starts doing that action. She starts training. And Naruto says the same, and they all nod, but they don't listen, besides Ino. And so Ino starts training with her father. And her father's kind of proud. Not at the reasoning for it, but proud that her daughter's training with him. And so now they go on to and then they do tons of joint missions, and then now it's the Land of Waves, and Naruto's not with them at that time, but he gets called, and he's with Kurenai's team, and Kurenai, Asuma, and them start teaching Naruto jutsu, and Naruto got Kushina's Kenjutsu fighting style. They call it the hot-blooded fighting style, and use wind attacks to hurt their opponents. And Naruto got lots of wind techniques and taught Asuma some with his chakra blades, which made Asuma really stronger, since he can push out gust of winds just through his little chakra blades. And so Asuma thinks, amazing, Naruto, you just made me 10 times stronger. Naruto says, oh, no problem. You're my sensei, of course. And Asuma chuckles to herself. And, of course, Ino swarms him every time she sees him. And so now, Kiba, nothing happened to Mizuki. Well, Mizuki got pummeled by Tsunade when she found out that her Naruto-kun did that, and Naruto regretted it, but nobody found out because nobody cared. And so now Naruto got 2 weeks of training, and so Tsunade says, have fun, Naruto, and says, don't forget about your training with me, smiling at him devishly. And so Tsunade also started training Naruto with his Bakugo seal. And so she knew since he was like half Uzumaki, his life forces would do nothing. And so she thought, I'll just teach him it and tell him to use it last minute. And so he nods and says, okay. And so Yamato has also been training Naruto hard with his wood style. And Hiruzen gave Yamato the order to train Naruto with with one of Hashirama's things to seal Biju or Biju Chakra. And so it's the Land of Waves mission. And so Naruto gets called in, and Kushina comes in with that KCM1 cloak and punches Zabuza, and he's in near death just from that. And Haku just throws like one Senbon. And so now they head off. And so now they head back. And so Naruto decides to use I'm just looking up what's Hashirama's technique to seal Biju. What is it called? Come at me in the comments and tell me, because I for real forgot. Like, I forgot. It's not the 1,000 hands, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but it doesn't matter. And so Naruto is fighting. I'm a time skip to the Zabuza Haku fight. Naruto did the same thing with Inari and stuff, and Kushina is helping, and she is also slowly taking out Gato's men without killing Gato. And so now Naruto is fighting them, and then a certain someone appears. It's a drum roll. It's an Ambu, but not a regular Ambu, from the village Iwa. And so since they got a picture of Naruto, they didn't want to take no chances, and so they sent one of their highly skilled Ambu to kill Naruto. And so Naruto is fighting that person while Sasuke and Sai is Team 7 replacement Sai is fighting Haku. And so then Kushina appears and tells Naruto to go fight Sai, and Kushina bodies that Ambu. Will not fight Sai, but fight the guy that fight Haku. And so Naruto sees what happened, and then Naruto does his wood style arm tentacles, and so shoots out arm tentacles at going towards Haku. And then Naruto takes out Haku, because once they tracked Haku's chakra, they went at blinding speed and took a hold of Haku. And then Naruto says, I won't kill you. I won't let your sensei die, but promise me you won't tell about my Kekkei Genkai. And Sasuke and Sai got knocked out, by the way. And so they both nodded because, and Naruto didn't have to do the regular test after he passed, because they knew that Tsunade was going to train him hard. And so they just went right to training and stuff. And so now Naruto is ready to fight peoples. And so now Naruto says, and then Naruto saves Zabuza with a gunshot to Kakashi, and then both saves him, and then Ao from the hidden waves, no, the rain village, says hi Zabuza, and then takes Zabuza, and then Zabuza's coming back to the Mist village, and so he thanks Naruto and them, and Haku says, I won't tell your secret, and Haku says, and I'm a girl, I lied to you about being a boy. And so Naruto thanks the Lord and says, of course, I know I got a good taste. And so then Naruto smiles at himself, but then thinks of his mom, how she would think. And then he almost regurgitates himself. And so they head back to the village and they tell what happened. And Tsunade says, my poor boy, how did it go? Did you kick butt? And Naruto says, yeah, Mom. And so then Shizune and them both go out to eat. And so people are trying to get close to Naruto, but Tsunade's not budging. And so she decides to start teaching Naruto one of Minato's techniques that she's been also trying to learn herself. It's the flying Raji. She doesn't think that she can ever learn it, but she wants to try to get somewhat of it. Because, like, I think it'll be called cousin or uncle. Yeah, uncle had it made the jutsu. So she says, of course I could make the jutsu. I could learn it, but she doesn't know. But she's starting to teach Naruto from the scroll, and Naruto's learning fairly quickly of it. And when she's not training Naruto with it, he's training Kenjutsu and Wood Style with Yamato and them. And he learns how to seal Biju Chakra. And so now, it's the Chunin exams. And he doesn't meet Gaara or anything, but lots of people have orders. And when Orochimaru finds out about Naruto, they're trying to find stuff about him, but every time Kabuto sees him about to train, he just goes into this big ceiling thing, and he can't see anything. And he doesn't really want to go close to it. And so nobody knows about Naruto. Like the Hokage does, but he knows that the Hokage won't be just talking about Naruto. And so he even tries to spy on Tsunade secretly with Naruto, but it's nothing. She's just training Naruto. And when Orochimaru appears for their meeting, Kabuto gets flamed. And so Tsunade smiles knowing Kabuto, and Jiraiya told her, if you see any Orochimaru goons, let it be, because they're the reason why he gets so much details about the Akatsuki, and she doesn't want to compromise that. And so she lets it go. But it makes a moment. If he ever messes with my Naru-kun, I will kill him, and then his blood will be in my hands. And Orochimaru says, be careful around Tsunade. If she even figures out about you, you're a dead man. It doesn't matter. She's way stronger than Kakashi. My bad again. You would die. And so, like, Kabuto takes this to heart. Look, respect, Sensei. Respect. I won't die. I won't die on you. And so, Kabuto says, okay. And so, the Cloud Ninja asks Naruto about what happened. Why'd you lie? And Naruto tells them everything, and they all understand, saying, it's okay, Naruto. And so B says, "What's good, Naruto? How's life been?" And Naruto says, "Good." And so B says, "Well, how is it training with one of the legendary Sanin?" And he says, "Cool." And so in this one, in Amikagure, Hanzo is still alive for reasons. And so that's the end for this one. In the next one, wait, actually, I'm gonna keep on going. Hold up. And so the tuning exam started, and Naruto goes to the first round. And in the first round, Naruto easily passes from learning with Tsunade and the Toad Sonic. Jiraiya is not dumb. He's just a goofball. And Naruto got some of Jiraiya's traits, if you know what I mean. But anyway, but Tsunade gave Naruto the talk before it, if you know what I mean. And so, now, it's the end of this. Wait, actually, the second round, Naruto has to go on, whose team should I put him on? Actually, you guys will vote in the thing below. What joint team will Naruto be joining? Will Sai not participate, or will it be a team of 4? Tell me what you want. And so, just say your opinion. And so, if none of you guys vote, what's wrong with me? Then I just get to pick. And so, that's it for this one. Bye.